maybe I'll on my... Hey, it's Wednesday, time for track feedback. We're starting it off with Growing Out of Minimal, Plants of the Gods. First thing I'm gonna do is share this link over to the Discord crew so y'all can join me in here, because I wanna make sure you're in the right YouTube stream. YouTube live stream. Live. Doink, doink, doink. Tag a couple people. See who's gonna come in. All right, so we're listening to some ambient music from Pivklit called Grown Out of Minimal. And this is in the down-tempo track section. I think it's so interesting when people get into minimal music that's made to loosen your mind and really take you to another place. All music is designed to take you to another place, but especially ambient stuff. Comment on this one, somehow let your mind loose. Hopefully it will evolve into an hour of meditation, and this might become part of as an EP as it develops. I don't know if I'm gonna play the whole entire thing, but I definitely appreciate the beginning. And now I need to get over to the comments. By the way, this morning, I did a really fun interview with David Fidele for about an hour, and we recorded it, and I'm gonna upload that, put it into the replay archive for you all to check out. We talked about music, life, inspiration, things around the topic of traveling, and he's a filmmaker and stuff. It really was a cool interview. So look forward to that. And Discord is updating. Maybe we'll have a little slow start today, but that's all right. Thanks for everybody putting your tracks in threads in Discord. That helps so much. It was really easy for me to just pull out the tracks, and maybe I'll even be able to read the comments that you wrote about each track as I play them up today. Of course, now Discord has to totally update on this other one. Okay, and there's my stream. Quick to expand. Oh, cool. Oliver is here. Great. Nice big chat. Super duper. Hi. Great, Oliver. Thank you. Thank you for saying hi. So I'm glad that you can see this, and that means we are ready to go. I'm digging this ambient track. This is pretty interesting stuff. Especially with bells like this, it's easy for this kind of bell to have a high piercing, high frequency that kind of bothers your brain. 625, we get beats, all right. And there's my Discord, okay. Now we can groove with some of these beats. This is deep, trippy music. Oh, another little update is in the replay archive on the members site, I put in a track list of timestamps for which person we're playing and what time they start. So when you go to watch the replay, if you don't want to scroll through the whole entire thing, you can jump ahead and find more or less where your track starts. The seconds are not exactly right, but it's within, 30 seconds or something. Plants of the Gods, this track is cool. We're at the moment now. I am going to skip forward because I'm aware that it takes about 10 minutes per track. That's what I was thinking when I said that comment about timestamps. I do spend about 10 minutes per piece of music, and I know when the track is 12 minutes long, the review can get long. So let me just jump forward. Okay, so basically the section of beats ends. Let's hear the ending. Nice low drone melody. And ending with a little bit of delay. Oh, Oliver, I see you just dropped something into the house tracks. Weirdo Town. And okay, this was a remix for somebody, but the guy threw the project away, so I cut out the vocal. And should I finish this or not? That is always the question, right? I know what you mean. Let me get this over here. And I'm gonna close my Facebook stream. Grown Out of Minimal, super cool track. Now, OSP, here we go. Mindbender, perfectly on time, what's up? I like those beats already. Especially the double kick bump thing. Okay, the opening sound does have like a low mid-range. It's like, let's see where that goes. All right, at 117, there was a little kick bump that sounded like a glitch. Hold on. I hear that it was like, ba-dum, bump, bump, but it sounded a little too close together. Before that, we heard the kicks that were like, dum, dum, dum. So having like the little, like the flam hit, the ghost hit, maybe that was a little too close together. Yeah, that area around 700, 600 hertz in this scratchy sound is very full. So that first sound that we heard, I'm wondering if that can drop out and maybe we have like a different bass element or something. Good build up, good build up. There we go. Yes, 225. Yeah, man, this is worth finishing. Probably because the beats are so good and the mix and the groove is so good. That organ with like a Doppler effect. DJ Water is going to get a little bit romantic with your track later on today. I love it. Oh, so Martin's getting kind of lo-fi, but the top is high end. Do you think the hi-hats are too bright? Here you go, instant lo-fi. Oh, we got Jesse in here. What's going on? Thanks for joining us. I don't know, Martin. I like the way the beats and the hi-hats and everything sound. Yeah, crank it up, man. Come on. I know it's only Wednesday. Ah. Dude, your sound design is so good. Oliver. Yes, man. I really like that piano line. It's so simple. And the effects on it. The only thing is that one opening sound is still kind of like muddy around 600, 700 hertz. Like, so Mindbender is getting that the hats do not mix with the rest. I disagree. I think it's not rubbing me wrong. I mean, they're not like ear splitting or anything, you know, it's like they're... Maybe they could use a little like a EQ down at like 15K or something. Peter May, all right, what's going on? Okay, 512, it gets more open. I like how the whole groove is going on that rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. The whole time? That's good. And we're at about 6 minutes here into the ending. Nice low pass filter taking that beat out, or the kick drum out. All right, I want to play the beginning again and just hear that opening. Okay, there's that. It's cool because you have no idea what genre the track is going to be at. And then we're in at 17. Okay. And then around minute 49. So we got a hi-hat debate going on. For me, the whole way through, I liked the beats, the percussion, the drums. The hi-hats, I didn't feel anything too sharp or high frequency or whatever. But a lot of people said it was too bright or it didn't fit with the rest of the groove. So I guess, Oliver, that's up to you to decide about. But for me, it works. And the biggest thing I would do is just put in a notch EQ or a peak and dip, dip out in this sound around here. That thing, because around that frequency of 600 hertz, it just sounds kind of boxy and like, and everything else surrounds it, so you don't notice. So like here, 415, right? Doom, 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 doom. The cool part is that you don't have anything else going on in the track that really fights with that zone, so it's okay to have that lower mid area kind of. For me, it just seems kind of dark and like a shadow or something like that. Yeah, great production. It's so crisp and tight that you can get away with it in that mix. So that's my biggest thing, 600 hertz on that sound. And then everybody else, if you want to battle out the hi-hat, like, I don't know, bit crush on the hi-hats or low shelf EQ to dirty them down a little bit or something, or just like a low pass filter down to 15,000 maybe. Something like that. Could work. I don't know. Really cool track. Definitely get that done. I would play that. I'd like to have a copy of that. Speaking of bending people's minds, envelope follower, Hypnotech, best mix. Let's see what we got. And I'm going to change the name this time too before I forget. Now playing. I listened to this already today. I was like, I don't really dance like that. I mean, maybe sometimes, but. Oh, that's in the track. I thought I hit a button on my push or something. Really bright synths. Back in the bass cave, I thought the kick drum could be a little bigger, but. Yeah, these hi-hats are a little down here, but as I've been saying a couple times, when you have arpeggiated synths with a real bright attack on them, they become percussive, so you get that dot 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 dot, that eighth note rhythm. So you don't need as many hi-hats, I think. Yeah, bigger kick drum and hi-hats. Don't let the synths take over the drum machines in the battle between the synth and the drum machine. You know, keep those two, these sounds are so good. 309, what is that? A synth stab going into an effects unit? Overall, I love how your tracks just keep going in the groove. It's like, you're always in it. Riser coming in. That was a cool break. Oh, you're tweaking a bukla. Is that what the metal, like you actually touch the circuit board, right? There's like you can actually, it's like exposed. I don't know if they all have that, but. Nice bass line too, yeah, this is good. And we're at 4 minutes. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit and see how we get to the ending. So it builds down. 545. Cool. Cosmic space sounds. And here's 615. Yeah, good. Okay, so at 630, that's the kick drum. Check out the bass line, right? Then there's like, so we got three kind of low elements. There's the kick drum, there's the drone bass, and then there's the fast ARP bass going. So if we want more kick drum, you got to say some of those other two are going to change, right? So maybe the maybe the fast bass line, you need to take a little of the low end off of it. Because that bass line does feel like it's so big, it's kind of making the kick drum less obvious. Yeah, Jesse, I was waiting for you to say something, man. We had a couple jokes about Airwolf and Blue Thunder and Knight Rider. And the Mindbender sound is right in there with that solid 80s thing, but of course more psychedelic and awesome. Yeah, to get that kick drum up, you know, a little more kick drum volume and then maybe a little less on that ARP bass line sound to just get the kick drum to be like, poof, kind of grabbing you. Great stuff, dude. Your sound design is so over the top awesome. I can't even comment on that. And also your song structure, I'm getting into it. It's like a much more continuous song form where it's about the sounds tweaking and kind of swelling up together. It's not as like crisply defined as like drop, break, climax, drop, like that kind of thing. But I really like that. And that one's pretty much done. So a couple little tweaks and bring it back next week. So we played that. Dial down the bass line and up with the kick. Yeah. Or bass line, that ARP bass, if you wanted to high pass filter the low end up to like, I don't know, 80 hertz maybe or something, and possibly bring it down a little bit, and the kick drum up possibly. So DJ Waters. Made for Love version 4 with no mic noise. Let me change the titles. How do you guys like this time slot, by the way? Made for Love. Because Wednesday is a great day for me. I could do it earlier. I could do it totally at noon if you all like it a little bit earlier in the day, but 4 o'clock is okay. Let me know. Now playing DJ Waters, Made for Love version 4. Yeah, the sidechain thing, definitely. Schepperz, I got your track lined up. Coming in heavy with the beats. Yeah, I think we could use some more mid-range on the synths. Let me roll this back a little bit. Right in here. That fast arpeggiated synth. It feels like it doesn't have enough mid-range. It's kind of high-pass filtered up too high. And we could use more body on that. Mix is sounding pretty good. Yeah, the kick and the low end. I like the choir sound of like the voices in the back. Nice stereo field. All right, that was a good transition. I like how the piano came out of there. Got it till October 10th. I'm sure she's gonna love the piano part. In fact, if you buy her flowers and just play the piano, that's probably enough. But the track sounds good. Does she like beats? I mean, do you guys listen to like hardcore together? I'm trying to imagine life at your house, like, you know, making a pot of tea, like. Doof, 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 doof. Okay, 407. Some of the high notes feel too loud compared to the other things. It's like if you're reaching far away and hitting too hard up there. So watch the note velocity on the high notes. Or you could maybe use some compression on the piano to get the melody notes not quite as loud compared to the chords. Not sure if those voices line up right there, 457. There's a little bit of a frequency overlap where they're kind of clashing with the piano notes. Oh, it's all right. Let's see, how do we get back to the beats? We're at 520. Oh, that's good. That synth that swells up takes us out of the piano, back towards the track. That's a good transition. The piano feels like it just kind of slowly went down, other things swelled up around it, and we're still in the same vibe, which is excellent. Okay, this melody that came in, that trance lead, came in a bunch louder. Like after the melody line of the piano, this trance lead was like a bunch too loud, so I would start this at a lower volume and use automation to ramp up that trance lead to the level it's gonna be at. The level in the mix right now is okay, but compared to the piano part, it was like So have that trance lead, give it a volume ramp so it comes in gradually. Now I feel that kick coming. 640. All right, Sorry, everybody. I know we just got into this section. I know. I hate to do that. I want to go back to this build-up because I think there were some little sounds in there that were really cool that I didn't hear enough of. There was a kick drum going doop, 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 but I think there were some drum breaks. So back to 640. Here's 632. Okay, there was a little snare drum that goes like. Right at 642, that little snare drum thing, a bunch louder to really make it crack right before the drop. And then we're into this part. Let me turn it up. And now this is good. Yeah, those kick drum bumps. Bass, lead, kick. I hear that sub right here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right there, 738, same thing, that louder. Oh, this is great, man. It has that low end feel of like boompa, boompa, boompa. Yeah, drum levels are buried a little bit under the synth stacks. 8 minutes, still cruising. And let's see how he builds it down. The piano is coming back. This feels like it was rushed a little bit. Huh. Lovely. Okay, the ending worked at the very end with the cymbal whoosh, and then the piano coming to a resolution. But the way the beats came out, let me just go back to like 820, right? You hear the piano coming in. Those chords are heavy enough and not on the beat with the drums that I think they were too soon. And 833, at 833, once you have that cymbal crash, like reverse sweep, that whoosh, at that point I think you could cut those little kick drums entirely and not have these lightweight ones that are fading out. Just get rid of those because I don't think you're mixing in a new track on top of this exactly. And they're like, those kick drums are not at the same rhythm as the piano notes at all. That's what felt disconnected. So just cut those little kick drum pieces. And don't cut off the reverb tail on the piano. Let that tail ride out 10 seconds after you think the recording's over, just to get a really long reverb tail. And actually what I would do is on the last piano note, bring, put a little more reverb so that that note kind of like floats up into a reverb space and let that reverb bloom go for like 10 seconds. Little finishing touches, but you know. Man, beautiful track, super cool. I'm sure she's gonna love it. It sounds great. The arrangement worked really well, especially the transition from piano back into the synths. Biggest thing I wanted to do was the smoothness where the trance lead comes in around, I don't want to jack your ears, after 6 minutes, 558, 601. When that trance lead comes in, don't bring it in full volume, ramp in the volume. And then at the very end, cut those little kick drum pieces. That'll work. Fresh set of ears, 72 hours straight through, yeah. And then with the piano part, I saw some comments about multiband compression. Yeah, tame the high notes and watch out for the lows. so that the piano is, and when you do that, actually, you'll be able to bring up the level of the piano overall, because compared to the whole sections of beats and stuff, if the beats are like a brick wall line up here, the piano is like pretty far down. If you do a little bit of compression on the levels, you can tame a couple of the high notes and bring up the overall level of the piano, and then you won't have as far to go to make it match with the volume of the synth lead. So that's all good, and those are pretty minor updates, which I think you should be able to concoct in your sleep. Okay. Next up, we got Schepperz Dead Duck version 2. I'm not sure if I can find the comments on it, but let me change the titles. I want to spell this right. Dead Duck V2. Sorry if I spelled your name a little bit wrong. Schepperz, S-C, Schepperz, yeah. And here we go, Dead Duck V2. Schepperz, I think your updates worked a lot. Changing the low end. Kick has more space, yes. Percussion too loud? Nope, that's not a problem. Percussion's good. OSP, good comment. Little boost in the 10K range. My EQ is at 12K shelf, so that's a little boost on that. Oh, and Oliver's asking for an extra 1 or 2 minutes. Let's see. Here's 127. Oh yeah, this track looks like it's 3.5 minutes. I can tell from the style this should be 6 minutes, not even 4. The low end feels solid this time. I don't know how to describe that, but the first version it felt like kind of muffly, like woof, woof, woof. And now it just feels like it draws you in with that low bass, like I'm going in the bass cave. Yeah, man, this sounds a lot better than the last version. Coming up at 2:30. Let's. Looks like there's a little break. Ooh, ooh. I gotta roll this back. I said this last time, but the coolest thing about different genres is how we approach sound design to do the special moments, like the transition sounds or the little drum breaks or whatever. And this one is like, it sounds like somebody like ripping static, like for your transition thing. 251. That sound. All right, so if you're struggling with the time length of 5 or 6 minutes, one thing you can do is go to the beginning of the track and cut some sounds out so you take longer to get to all the full layers of everything happening. And then when you bring those in later, you get like an extra minute or something automatically of just not having all that stuff come in so soon. Yeah, the bit crusher is working. Works really well with the style. like how that sound is getting filtered down, gets kind of muffled. Good rhythm in that. Let's just, right here, 339. Dum, chicka, dum, chicka, dum, chicka, dum. Okay, so for starters, if you want to create more length, one thing you could do is start off the track with this sound by itself. Dum, chicka, dum, chicka, dum, chicka, dum. Like, that's such a gritty, textured thing. I could listen to that for easily for 32 bars. Let's ask some questions. Okay, that is how you started, right? So it sounds like 8 bars intro, right? So right here, you don't have to bring in that hi-hat sound right away. We went from the kick drum with like a mid-range filtery thing. After 8 bars, drop the full bass of the kick drum and just let it go another whole 8 bars of exactly the same thing with no new sounds, but the difference is now we have the full bass. And then just wait a little bit longer. And what other sound comes in right here at 15 seconds? There's like a grindy layer. So whatever that high frequency layer is, you know, so we have like 8 bars of an intro with a kick, kind of like mid-range sound. After that 8 bars, drop the full frequency range where the kick has bass. Wait 8 bars, then bring in that one scratchy layer. So basically the idea is with this kind of style, never add more than one sound at the same time. Like add a new sound, wait 8 bars. Add another new sound and wait 8 bars. And that way, it gets so hypnotic and you don't run out of sounds, basically. So here's a hi-hat and the scraping kind of sound. And then, okay, we're at 30 seconds and there's a double time hi-hat coming in, ticka, 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 ticka. Like that's kind of too soon. If you're having a trouble making a longer track, don't bring in that super fast or double time hi-hat right away. Let it go a little bit longer. I'm gonna skip out to 44. Dun, dun. That sound. Bang, bang. So you have a lot of good sounds to work with. Just don't bring them all in at the same time. And Oliver, if you want to jump in with any tips on how to make song structure and create length in techno tracks, I would love to hear your opinion on it because you're definitely really good at that. Let's go to the middle here. Here's 2 minutes. All right, let me read this. I'm going to read this into the record. So you just need to copy the middle part before the break, add some low cut filter and reverse effect, and done. Copy the middle part before the break. Okay, right here. We're at 229 right now, and I think this is the middle part before the break. That's good, that effect. Yeah, all right. 3 minutes. So the basic idea is that you've got a really good groove and you want to have that going for 5 minutes with a few little moments where it drops out, there's a quick little turnaround or something like that, and it keeps going. Because this is like, it's not like a trance track where you have a 3-minute epic swelling big breakdown. Like it's not like that. It's like beats, quick little breaks, more hard beats, and then every time the beats come in after 8 bars, either add a new sound. So for like the first 2 minutes, try to just like add one sound at a time. And then you have the think of like a 16-bar loop where every sound you have is playing, right? So have like however many sounds are in the track, get like one 16-bar loop where everything is in and have that like twice, right? So there's like 32 bars of everything. And before that part, just cut away one sound every 8 bars, so it's like a ladder coming up to that main section, and then have like the gap where there's that static and everything, and then afterwards have another big fat part of everything, and then gradually cut one sound out every 8 bars, and that's like a simple ladder kind of up and down format where you're just adding and subtracting sounds. And to make it interesting, if you had like a delay effect or something, when you have a sound that's about to come out, at the the end of that 8-bar part with that one sound, put it into the delay so it echoes, and then mute the dry one, and the echoes will go for a while. So you can kind of play with the sound design and play with the effects so that people hear something interesting and they don't really notice the sounds are coming in and going out. And listen to Mindbender, because that format is really, really good where there's a groove that keeps going like nonstop, and there's a lot of sounds swimming around on top, and you can hear somebody tweaking knobs, and it's like, oh, somebody's having fun tweaking knobs. It sounds like a fun track. those are, that's important to do, is to have delay or have effects that are fun to play with, because it doesn't have to be mechanical composition. You don't have to be like writing a recipe of 8 bars, new sound, 8 bars, new sound. It doesn't have to be like a predictable format kind of a thing. It should sound fluid. And one of the ways to do that is to like count 8 bars and add or subtract sounds. So work on that and let us know what happens. Hope I'm not talking too much. Let's see, who else is here who has a track in this week? Is Matt Schulz here? I don't think so. Not just any Matt Schulz, the Matt Schulz. I love how his name is the Matt Schulz, just to make sure everybody knows that is the Matt Schulz. Hold? What is that right? Hold, dub techno track, let me mute my mic. Oliver, great tips, thank you. This percussion is nice. A little. Very good. All right, so Matt says he's working with the Vital synth on this one, using automation for variations on the synths. And we got some found sound on the 2 minutes breakdown, 225. Very chill track, good delay effects, good low end. Matt always has a boom, boom, boom. Like the sub bass and the kick drum are really nicely, rhythmically interlocking. What do you think about the hi-hats? You like a little bit more on there? This style doesn't need very bright hi-hats. Ah, impulse responses, yeah. I'm not hearing any mix problems. This one seems a little bit newer in that there's not as much happening. Like it feels kind of like it starts and there haven't been a lot of new sounds or anything to change the energy level very much. Got the synth stabs going in. Ooh, Mindbender spring reverb impulse responses. Put them in your convolution reverbs. King Tubby Dub Springs. Let's skip ahead a little bit, Matt Schulz here. So basically Matt's creating a length by just changing the synth's parameters, like the filter or the tone of the synth, and putting them into different effects on top of the groove, and the groove basically just stays the same. Here we are, 455. Subtle effects, nice and smooth. I agree with Oliver's comment. You could use like a rim shot or a hand clap or snare or something to kind of bring the energy up a little bit in there somewhere. But that's not a fatal error. Gives you some space to work. Play Schepperz. And that reverb could be longer. All right, nice one. Matt Schulz, always in the pocket with those beats. Let's go over to Shtievenos. This is a track called Undiscovered Curiosity, and I'm going to remember to label it. Let's see if I can spell this one right. Undiscovered, oh my gosh. Right, Undiscovered Curiosity.
When Sandra doesn't talk to a Mattress Firm sleep expert.
So we hit a SoundCloud ad. What are we going to do? Thanks for hanging out, everybody. It is, what do we got, like about 5 people right now? Wednesday night. It might be better to do this at a little bit of a different time. I'm not sure. Or what did you think about having the YouTube link pop up in Discord spontaneously? Is that all right, or should I really schedule it? I was struggling to get a YouTube video scheduled ahead of time, so when you go to the link, you see the countdown timer. And I was having a hard time getting my streaming software to connect with it and go into the right video. Like, I can always start a video, but picking the exact one and having it work 100% of the time is tricky. What I would like to do is send out an email and say, here's the link, it starts at whatever time, and you click the link and you just wait till it starts. When I get that working 100%, I think I'll do it that way so we can have the email broadcast and in Discord, and I can send you multiple places to get the link. Sorry if anybody is watching the replay and you got lost on this one. I'm trying to make it a universal thing, but there are tech things. All right, let's start this track over, Shtievenos. All right, comes right in, not much of an intro, but all right. You could cut the snare drum right here at 56. Let the synths have that space. I like that synth. Dot, 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 dot. That's a good sound. We're gonna need some EQ and some mix work on here. All right. This part a little too much high mids in that frequency range. Let me go back to the very first note. This opening synth has too much low end. It's almost like in the bass range, almost. But the part you only need the part in the mid range, so you could like EQ that out up to at least like 700 or 800, and then probably turn it up a little bit louder, because when the bass comes in, we've got that nice round kick drum on the bottom, and that synth is that's on top. The hi-hat kind of sounds papery. I would cut that shorter to make it more like a tick and not like a scratch. Like, And in this little breakdown part, you don't need the beats. That little riser sound needs to be louder. So this is some opening notes. Let me skip through to some more parts of beats. Who's at 207? Yeah, so the drum beats are feeling a little disconnected from the synths, and everything is kind of like, it's not feeling like it's hanging together quite enough. The drums sort of stick out as a little bit too loud. Some of them are really loud, and then there's a little rattle, it's like not as loud. And also the song sections are disconnected, like we didn't get quite enough time to sit in the beat before the hi-hats dropped out. And 3 minutes, now we're in another breakdown section. Watch out for the high mids. You don't want too much high frequency in the build up. Now we're at 406. It does have kind of a dreamy sound space, so sonically, it has an emotion in it, which is cool. The chord progression, has chords, has a chord progression. And some of the sounds are really cool. Mainly the beats need some work to have like a consistent drum beat that keeps you going with the rhythm smoothly. And there's the beats. This is cool though. That has like a backwards kind of feel. What I would really recommend is get a couple more closed hi-hat sounds and try changing your hi-hats, because this one kind of sounds scratchy and it's like, and get some hi-hats that are just like a little tick. It's like, tick, 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 tick. Like not a long duration sound, like a little short one. Yeah, the synth is a little loud and kind of, and that top synth is maybe a little bit sharp in pitch. Doesn't quite ride on top. And overall, we could use a bass line. Seriously. So your synth sounds are cool. The biggest thing, there isn't a sense of continuity in the track. Like there's really cool sounds that are coming and going and pulsing, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I like that. It feels like they're kind of reverse sounds audio or something. But the two things that are missing to give a track continuity here are, number one, the song sections are changing a lot. Like we'll have a short section of beats and then a dropout or a breakdown or something. And then the beats start up again, but we don't get a long section to be like, if you're dancing, and the beat comes in, you want to like be dancing in the beat for a while. And the track keeps changing a lot, so it's not predictable of like, are we going to stay here or is it going to change? So one thing is song structure, where you could make like the section with the beats, make them maybe twice as long as they are. And when there's a dropout with no beats, don't have that happen so often. So it's a little bit more like, it doesn't have to be predictable, but when we're in a song section, it should stay that way long enough that we can enjoy it before it changes again, if that makes sense. And so the continuity with structure, which means make the sections last long enough that you can rest in them and enjoy them before they change. And the other thing with continuity is just on a sonic level with the loops, the synths are like stabbing and coming in and out, and the other sounds are reversed and stuff or whatever. But a bass line would absolutely help to give this track continuity. My very first comment about the synth part having too much low end, there's a lot of lows in that. Check this out. Like, I just took all the lows out of the track, and it still sounds great. So that opening synth sound, get the low end out of there all the way up to like 900 hertz or something like that, and leave that low mid-range space for a bass line, so that later in the track when the beats are in, you really could add a nice smooth bass line to fill it out. Let me skip to the middle. 4 minutes. Because still right here, there's kick drum, there's synths like pulsing, but there's a ton of space in the low end to have a nice long gooey bass line to fill in between everything and just connect the track. Boom, 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 boom. Something like that. So get a bass line in there. And I want to play the ending one more time. Here we are, 6 minutes. This is great sound. It's drawing you in. It's a chord progression, and the synths are like filtering and changing. Little vocal sample. The sounds are cool. Sound design is like pretty good on this. And I like that that filtered sound. Shtievenos. So main thing is put in a bass line so that the track has like a nice low full thing to go with the kick drum. And then work on your song sections. And I think what's going to happen is once you get the kick drum and the bass line playing together, you'll have more fun with the beats. And you don't have enough drum samples. Like the ones that are in there were like kind of sharp and kind of loud. And if you like bring those down a little bit and have another closed hi-hat that's just holding in that rhythm, adding in that hi-hat to like keep the rhythm steady and a bass line with the kick drum is going to like totally smooth it out. Yeah, vocals are cool. I agree. Ian Waters, vocals are cool. So we're at about 1 hour. I think I want to do one track. Last time on Saturday, I did a 2-hour review, which is a hella long replay, unless you're going to watch it while you're, I don't know, carving a piece of wood. So I'm not going to do 2 hours today. I want to keep this one a little bit shorter. And so I think I'll do one more track and call it a day. I'm going to play Stephen Feher, because I don't think we've reviewed any of his music before. I'm kind of curious what it is. Then Feher, Shapeshifter update. Okay, hold on. Doop, 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 type, Shapeshifter, Feher. Sounds a bit like the morning after a night out. AKA my head hurts. I had one of those where I ended up drinking gin and tonics with somebody, not realizing that I have no idea what was going to happen. You know, some kinds of alcohol don't match with a person, and gin is like not part of my universe. Ever again. No yummy. Here we go. Stephen Feher, Shapeshifter.
The rules of McDelivery.
A McDonald's ad. Oh my gosh. What just came up? Nothing. I'm checking Discord for updates and everything and keeping the bleeps down. So what else is coming up? So Saturday, next track feedback is going to be on Saturday. And let me know if you are interested in doing an interview. I personally think everybody in here is interesting. So I had a really good time interviewing David Fidele today. And I'd like to do more interviews, maybe once a week, maybe not, and fill in other people's perspectives on production and stuff. So if that's something you think is fun or attractive, let me know. DJ Waters, still waiting for your hardcore track, Martin. Get him over to the dark side. Yeah. Are we done with that?
Minimums on checking and savings accounts.
No way, dude. SoundCloud wants me to pay to upgrade, and you've heard me say this before, I'm already paying for SoundCloud Pro. I don't want to give them any more money just to get rid of the ads. But okay, Stephen Feher, Shapeshifter. Sorry about that. Here we go. Really cool intro. Good sound effects. Keeping the volume down because it looks like this one's gonna drop. I like this drop a lot. Simple too. Kick drum, bass synth, sound effects on top. What do you think is going to be the first drum sound that comes in? I bet it's going to be a hi-hat. This little hi-hat could be louder though. And that crash could be a little louder too. Synths are beautiful. They're really big and bright on top of the beat. Kick drum and low end feel good. Those little slurps, so good. Wait a minute, on SoundCloud it says my first track. Could this be the first track you ever made? I can't believe it. That's too good. Could that really be? Watch the volume on those. Says it's his first track, still in the arrangement phase. If this is really your first track, the mix sounds amazing. Yeah, I'd crank this right up too. It sounds really good if this is your first track ever. Especially the way you got these effects and everything really loud on top of the beat, and you got the drums sounding so balanced. I'm impressed. Okay, on the arrangement tip, let me go back. We're at 3 minutes. There's a riser right here. Right before there's a kick drum beat on 307. When you have a riser going up like that, in the psytrance genre especially, it's great to do some kind of a glitch or a roll or a fill or something. Instead of just having the kick drum continuously go on the quarter notes, have it come in and be like doom, 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 brrr, doom, or something like dum, 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 dum. So, you know, like a little bit of a variation, or a reverse kick drum beat is great, where there's one that pauses, dum, 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 whoop, and it goes into the next one. Here we are back at 3 minutes. Cut one, zoom. Maybe cut like 3 of them out and then do a little thing, just to make a tiny little rhythmic variation before the drum beat. This is super good. I don't know how you got this to sound like this on your first track ever. Maybe I don't understand what you wrote, but it sounds great. Yeah, I see what you mean about arrangement. Now at this point, 352, it sounds a little bit static. This is where if the hi-hats were a little bit louder, you could bring in something else. Ooh, what's this? I like how it's kind of wet and like echoey. Feels like nighttime somehow. DJ Waters wants a little bit of a louder kick drum, could be. Vocals are cool.
Farewell, mortals. Your bravery is admirable for such flawed creatures. You are out of time.
All right. I especially like how you cut out all the drums in that breakdown section, so it was only the synth and voices. Let me go back to here. That vocal comes in nice and loud. The little synth underneath it, this blippy one, that could be a little louder. And this next one, the voice.
Farewell, mortals. Your bravery is admirable for such flawed creatures. You are out of time.
And then at 4:53, that kick drum came in a little soon. For this genre, if you had like out of time and it went like time, and had a riser going up, and then a snare drum rush, and like a super riser, and then the beat came in. That's a dramatic statement to say, and having the beat kick in right away is not wrong, it doesn't sound bad, but this is a genre where you could have like an epic build-up right here. Not a long duration, but just like an 8-bar thing. Oh, Jesse, thanks for going. Yeah, thanks for being here. Be cool, fools. See you with your purple sunglasses on Saturday. And Steven, what I'm saying is work that moment, because when you're saying mortals, your time is up, like that's a great heavy statement to say. You could do like a big sweeping build-up with the synth and some delay effects and a snare drum rush, and then drop the beat so it has more impact when it does hit. In
For
my
such flawed creatures, you are out of time.
Time. I would echo the word time, so it's like time. Make it a little more psychedelic. General rhythm's cool. That's working. And pretty soon we should have a hi-hat coming in. Good, there's a riser. And the beats, yeah. Yeah, those hi-hats need to be a little louder because the synths are so bright and out front. It's definitely going to work as a track. It's got all the right elements. Total forest music for me. All right, this new sound is a little too loud. Cool sound though. DJ Waters, I bet you got some ideas with this. Steven, good sounds, a little too loud on this one, but all right. It's like a lead solo. It almost sounds like an 80s distortion keyboard solo. We could use a mid-range chord or like an atmospheric pad around this. Like something soft around it. Like right here we have kick drum, low bass line, beats, and this one synth solo thing. There's space for like a mid-range synth. Oh, it just stopped. Yeah, there is space for like another chord layer. Let me go back to the beginning. Okay. So at the end when there's this like kind of buzzy synth on top, I would bring in an atmospheric synth pad to hold one chord and just like fill in the mid-range between the drums and beat and that top glitchy layer, because it feels like there's a lot of mid-range space where you could have a really cool soft atmospheric chord. It's just like wow, 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 like a long soft like cloud sound to fill up the space around it. And then when you get to here and that top melody stops at 712, it's gonna, right there that sound stops and it's like, oh, where'd everything go? So a mid-range sound to kind of like connect across. And then I guess you got to build an ending because we're at 7:35. It looks like it just cruises out. DJ Waters, wind those sounds back and hit it hard, but just synths. Yeah, I especially like that lead sound how it has like a wiki kind of sound. 647, right? Right there at 651. It sounds like a wah pedal kind of. I like that. I call it like a wiki kind of sound. That's great. So it's a cool sound. And then right there, it just stops out of nowhere at 707. So we got to build something so there's like a mid-range part, like an atmospheric pad, and that lead synth, you know, put it into a delay on the last note or something, so the last note goes and finishes up. Now it sounds like we're on a loop with nobody driving the bus because you don't have an ending built together. So this is where you'd be like, cut out the hi-hats. What happens? Yeah, and it just stops. All right, so clearly you didn't work the ending yet, which is fine. Bring this back again next week. And if this is truly the first track you ever made, I'm amazed because that mix sounds good. All the sounds are really well developed and interesting. And it has a form where there's stuff coming in and going out. There's the voices announcing some epic message. And there's all like the parts of a really, really great psytrance track for 4 a.m. Forest playing. So that sounds good. What was the very beginning again? Oh, yeah. Super cool. So, all right, it's been about an hour. I think that's going to be it for me for this time. I'm absolutely going to work on emailing you a YouTube link first so that Saturday you can put in your calendar, schedule it, you're ready to go, you know where the video is, everybody can find it. I really want that to happen, so I'm going to make that happen. I don't know what I have to do, but I'll figure it out. And thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you being flexible and changing different times while we find which time slot works best for the group. Saturday, I'm going to aim for noon, my time. And also, really good job putting up the threads in Discord. This is great. I can look at Discord, and I'm like, look, all these tracks are here. And I think it was kind of funny. This week in the Facebook group, I don't think anybody posted a track in Facebook. It used to be like on Monday, I would put up the track feedback post, and in less than an hour, there's links coming in, and we'd get like 300 comments a week. And now it's now everybody's over at Discord, and like the Facebook group is like nobody here, which is perfect. I'm so happy that everybody's in Discord. It's great. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And last thing is Pivclit and Thorium put out this track Bump from Ariel, which came in at number 35 in the Beatport Dark Raw Hypnotic Techno. So if you're into techno at all, check out the track Bump. The link is in the Facebook group. Support Ariel, please. Help him to get up the charts. This is such a great project. I think it's good music too. So check it out and please help support, because when you have a track and you get it done and you send us the link, we're going to spread it around and tell everybody to grab a copy so we can play it in our DJ sets and hear it out somewhere on the world in a mix set. My favorite part about this group is how much people support each other. So thank you, everybody, for putting in time and energy, listening to me talk and say blah, blah, blah on the mic all day long. And that's going to be it for this time. I'll see you on Saturday. If you have any questions, type them in Discord. This is a grooving track.